All right, you guys, welcome to class. Today you are going to be matching the motion of an object in the physical world, me, and my movement, with a graph that I've given you. Today could be really tricky. What I suggest that you do is that I'm not really sure how it's going to work with Canvas. Again, I'm still learning how to use these things, but I would suggest drawing the graphs in your notebook and writing down the 3 questions that I ask you to answer every single time. And again, this is going to help you be successful so that you really understand what's going on in the graphs as I move. So today we are going to be matching the pattern. We're going to be using this CBL motion detector, this beautiful thing right here, to make the graph that we see here. So I am going to move in such a way that creates this graph. So before we start, I want to talk about what this graph is. So it's a position versus time graph. We're going to be changing position over a certain amount of time, and we have set it so that I will get 5 seconds. So I'll have to go pretty quickly with whatever I do. Now, there's 3 questions that we need to ask ourselves in order to make this graph happen. The 3 questions are, where am I starting? What direction am I going? And how fast? Fast or slow? I'll say fast or slow. Okay. So before I actually go do this, I want to talk about this graph real quick again. So this is time 0 and position 0 right here. So if the line starts over here, I have to think about what that means for my position. Where am I starting? If I'm starting close to the wall, it'll be over here. And as time goes by, where do I go? What direction am I going? Am I going fast or am I going slow? So let's go ahead and make this first graph. Ready, start. End. All right, so I got 5 seconds to make this graph. And you can see it looks pretty close. I would say that the only difference here is that this line is a little bit steeper. Sorry guys. This line is a little bit steeper than this one, which means that I probably could have gone a little bit faster. But I started close to the wall. My position was almost 0, close to the wall. I moved away from the wall. I moved away from the wall as time went by. So where did I start? Close to the wall. The direction I went, I moved away from the wall. And how fast was I going? Well, I was supposed to go a little bit faster, I think.
Okay.
All right. So what is going to be the difference? How do I make this graph as opposed to this graph? What do I have to do this time? So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to make this look like that second graph. Switch hands here. Right-handed. Right. And here we go. Done. All right, right on the money. Okay, so you can see that this graph looks like this graph. Again, I started at the wall. I moved away from the wall as time went by. But this time I went slower than the last one. And hopefully you guys could see that. All right.
What's the next one?
Time for the next one. So I want you guys to pause this. I want you to make a prediction. Where am I going to start? What direction am I going to be going towards the wall, away from the wall? And how fast or slow am I going to be going? I'm going to start right here. Ready, Ray?
Yep.
I walked a little bit fast.
Fast is good.
Ignore this last part over here, guys. Ignore that part. We're only gonna be looking at this part right here. So does this look like this part? Yeah. So where did I start? Well, instead of, I'm gonna do it on here. If this is position, if this is close to the wall, I started away from the wall. I moved towards the wall, and I moved pretty fast, didn't I?
Yep.
Check out the how steep that line is. So that's a hint for the slope there, how fast I'm going. Let's take a look at this one. Now predict, thank you, predict, so what is the difference between these two lines? Well, the slope on this one is a little bit less. It's not as steep, right? So what is gonna have to change? What will have to change here? Ready for me?
Go.
Start. And done. Nice, Miss Moore. Oh, so good. Okay. So, boom, comparing that to this. And the difference this time was that I walked slower. And so my slope was less steep here. So walking slower gives me a less steep slope. Okay, all right. Shall we move on? Wah! Let's reset that one. Oh my God, how are we going to do this? I'm gonna have to take a second to think about this one.
That looks like the first letter of your last name.
Yeah, that's the M for more right there. Okay, so we know, I'm gonna do a little brainstorming here. We know that this is position, so I know I'm gonna start close to the wall here. I'm probably going to be moving away from the wall, towards, away, towards, yes?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can do it. All right, let's do it. So this time, I've got 10 seconds to do this because it's gonna take me a little bit longer. Here we go. Oh, made it. Oh.
That's silly.
So because I should have maybe given myself 15 seconds, but that's okay. It looks pretty good. Pretty similar, not bad, right? I think if I would have stopped more like abruptly, I would have gotten that sharp point right there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we can see that as time goes by and I change my position, we get this line, this M shape over here, right? So what does this mean? It's important that you can understand what's happening. We start close to the wall, we're moving away, our position is getting further away from zero or the wall, and then we come closer, away, and then closer again. We end at the wall again, just like we started. Okay, let's take a look at this one.
I'll press 5.
There we go. All right, so again, this is the wall right here. So it looks like this time we're starting away from the wall. Okay, we're gonna be moving forward and then away. What does this mean?
I don't know.
What is that gonna look like? And then definitely away again. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Make sure I can remember what I'm doing. Give me a second. Let me look at that again.
Okay,
Okay, I'm ready.
go.
Stop. Let's see if I got this. Okay, not bad. All right, and again, if I would have stopped a little bit better, it would have been good. So you can see the similarities. We start away from the wall. We move towards the wall. We move away from the wall. What did I do at this point?
I think you stopped and stayed still.
I stopped and stayed still. I wasn't moving. And then I moved away from the wall again.
All right.
Okay, last one. So we want to make, we want to make this guy right here. So this is a little bit different. This is a curved line. Before, the difference between this line and this line is just the slope, right?
Yep.
And I walked faster here and I walked slower here. So let's see if I can combine these two ideas, these two concepts, to make this curved line. Think about what the slope is right here. Think about what the slope would be right there. Oh, and where do I start?
Ready.
All right, so we changed the time to 5 seconds this time, because it shouldn't take me that long. And go. Stop. All right. Okay, so I messed up a little bit in the beginning. Ignore that part, but you can see how there's a gradual change here, right? Gradual change. Now, think about the questions that we want to answer, right? Where did we start? Well, we started close to the wall. What direction did we go? We moved away from the wall. And what about our speed? Well, I started off slow because if you think about this slope right here, if I was to pick this point right there, it's kind of just like that slope. And we went slow on this one, right?
Yep.
But then if I look a little bit up here, if I pick that point right there, ooh, that looks a lot like that one.
Yep.
Right? We went faster. So I had to go from slow to fast. How will this one be different? And go. Stop. Nice. I probably could have started off a little bit slower. You see how that's not exactly like this, but you can see there's a gradual increase. It's definitely not a straight line. And so where did I start? Close. What direction did I go? I went away from the wall. And then my speed, again, if you are confused on this, make sure you rewatch that video. The slope, if I pick this spot right here, again, looks just like this one. I'm going fast. And you could see that if you pick that spot right there, boom, I was a little bit slower as I ended. Okay. Are you lost? Are you confused? I have some advice for you. Here is what I would do. I would go through and draw a picture of all of the graphs in my notebook or on a piece of paper. And then I would rewatch the videos and describe exactly what I do. Where do I start? What direction do I go? And am I going faster or am I going slower? And also pay attention to what does the graph look like when I'm not moving at all? So again, if you're lost or confused, I suggest kind of going back through this and really understanding and using words to describe what was happening in each graph.